now is your time. You know that we are recording the session, so if you don't want to be recording, this is the time to say no. So welcome to this clarifying session about CAL-E. This call doesn't have an agenda per se, is more a Q&A. I will introduce myself as a CAL trainer, and then I can give an overview about what is the difference between the old model of CAL and the new one. And then you can ask the questions you want to ask. Does that sound okay? So my name is easy to figure out, is on the Zoom. So my name is Raquel Silva. I'm Portuguese. I live in not Raleigh, but a little bit south of Raleigh, like 10 minutes driving, little town called Gardner. And I am a CAL trainer, and I do trainings for Simpliaxis. So there was recently announced by Scrum Alliance a new format for the CAL. And why is that? So CAL was divided into 3 different modules. So it was essentials, that was about the self, kind of who I am as a leader, who I want to be perceived as a leader, leadership traits. There was CAL teams, about the growth of teams, understanding leadership in teams, how can that impact the performance of the teams. And there was also CAL organizations. There was more about systemic thinking, so understanding how organizations work. And I think overall why Agile transformations fail. So that is because organizations are not brick and mortar. They are living, breathing organisms that if you push them, they kick back. And they will kick as hard as we push them. So it's nice to understand how the organization works so we can find a way to minimize resistance and bring organizations towards agility. So they reformulate the CAL, and they put it now as CAL-1, and the CAL-2 program is also being refurbished per se. What they did. So as the topics were one-day training, very shallow, because it was kind of, sometimes as there was no sequence to the trainings, we need to sometimes overlap some of the concepts there. So with this new training, what happened is, so there is a flow about leadership changes, and a focus on exploring the mindset of the leaders. What does that mean? What means to be a good leader? And understanding how the Agile Manifesto can be used and is very practical for business world. And also, so we talk about leadership, there is the connection to the teams, because most of the organizations, no matter the industry, we are organized in teams. So teams is part of leadership. If you are a leader, you often have a team, right? So it kind of comes together. And if you have a team, if you are a leader, you most likely be in an organization. So the concepts are all interlinked. And putting all together, that gives the sense of depth. So is more, we can tailor, even though we still have the learning objectives clearly defined, we can actually bring the class in another level of depth. That is, so we can have the flow about who are you as a leader, and then bring that to the team's context, and bring that also to the organization context, and the impacts of leadership, not only in teams, but also in the whole organization, and has a better flow At least is my opinion in there. But this is pretty much, and who is these trainings for? So Cal, as leadership, so you probably noticed that even on the Scrum Guide was changed the term from servant leader to true leader. Why would that be? Why would they change the term? What is the meaning of it? Because the true leader has a different impact, has a different visibility, and the teams need that. So understanding all of this. So Scrum Masters are leaders, product owners are leaders. Nonetheless, we also have managers, we have executives, and it's important that we understand not only agility, but also good leadership. Because good leadership is what would make the companies thrive and make them more productive. Usually people say that we don't leave companies, we leave managers. So if we can have leaders, good leaders in the organizations, in the teams, we most likely to have more productive teams and more productive, more effective organizations. So I don't want to bother you to death with me talking. So I will ask if you have any questions you want to ask. And welcome to the ones who were joining. So I was talking, so I didn't give you a proper welcome. So I finished the overview of Cal. So, and the format of this training is more, this webinar is more Q&A. So questions that you might have about Cal, about leadership, about myself. Why should you take Cal with me? You are welcome to ask. And you also can turn your cameras on if you wish to do so. No questions. Let me see the chat if there is. If you cannot unmute yourself, you can always put the comments in the chat. So I'm going to ask a question and I'm going round robin. And I'm starting with Ramadi because he's the first one on my screen. So the question, and I will go round robin. If you want to skip, can skip. Just let me know you want to skip the question. So why are you attending to this call?
The reason why I'm attending the call is the organization I work for has recently adopted safe Agile methodology. And we are still trying to figure out what's the right balance, how to transition from the traditional style of working to this new style of working. So I thought it'll be a good idea to just understand from the experts like you as to what is the right way of doing things so that we can then apply that in our daily life and our day-to-day working in the organization.
Thank you. That's a good point because Cal is exactly about the behaviors, the changing in the behaviors, because we are not just changing processes. If we just change the process without changing the behaviors, we most likely won't have the success we are expecting. So when we are in this transition, leadership needs to understand what is expected from them in the new environment. So that's a good thing to come.
Yep. I actually have a question to ask. So you said Carl. This is a term that I haven't heard before. So could you clarify what exactly this is?
Carl is, I can share my screen for a little bit. So
yes,
Carl
please.
stands for Certified Agile Leadership.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Okay. Certified Agile Leader. They changed a little bit the topic there, but it's still Certified Agile Leadership. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So so for the ones who just joined, I did a small overview about Calm, Certified Agile Leadership for the ones, sorry, because I assumed, and I shouldn't be doing that. I assumed that we were all No, so certified agile leadership, and this school, I just did a small overview about the training, and I was going around the people in the room to ask, why are you here? What doubts do you have? So I will go and move to Olu. Sorry, I hope I say your names correctly. Olu, do you want to share why you're here? Any questions you might have?
Hi, Raquel. Good evening. It's evening here. I'm calling from UK. I recently got certified in the Scrum product owner, and this is my first would I call it seminar now, that I'll be joining Simpliaxis with. So I was quite interested in any information that I can get to improve my knowledge about Agile, and most especially within leadership.
Thank you. So, and being a product owner is a leadership role, in fact. Product owners need to not only lead the teams, but they need to have the ability to establish the vision, to be able to communicate effectively, be empathic, be really a true leader in the organization, because they own a product. They need to have this leadership position amongst their stakeholders and at the same time work that with the team. And I think the call as it stands is important because helps to understand the transitions between different styles of leadership. You probably won't have the same presence when you are with the team than when you are with your stakeholders. Understanding the Agile Manifesto, and so we all use buzzwords, but actually bring those buzzwords to reality when we are talking with our stakeholders, understanding what means self-organized teams, what means fast delivery, why we call this Agile, why we have Agile methodology. So it's really, really nice and comes all together. So what courses will come in the CAL 1 and CAL 2? So CAL 1, everybody that has at least 2 certifications from CAL, the previous series, Certified Agile Leadership Essentials, teams or organizations, you need to have at least 2 to be awarded with the new credential, okay? If you have only 1, you still need to take the other one, unless between now and then, these trainings, I think they will be effective from April. So you still have some time to actually, if you wish to take one of the classes, you can actually take a class and get your certification before. So when they change the badges, you will get your CAL 1 badges. So otherwise, if you just have one of the CALs, no matter what, you need to take the Certified Agile Leadership. They won't take your credential away. They just don't give you the new one, okay? CAL 2 remains the same for now. CAL 2 is a mentorship program, I would say. It's a program that usually lasts around 8 months and is more about coaching and understanding coaching skills, practicing coaching skills, and is a program that actually what it does. So if you are a leader, you probably face challenges in your day in, day out. And this program is where you can bring your challenges and understanding the networking with other leaders and also with a coach that will help you through some of those hoops. But it's a long program. But there is the CAL 2 remains CAL 2, even though the program will be different. CAL 1 is the one that changed, that has the 3 icons coming now into one. Thank you, Olu. I will move. Oh, there is another question. Thank you. I hope I answered your question in there. And
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Absolutely. Thank you.
so I'm also new. There have another question in the chat. I'm also new into the product owner role and interested in agile methods. What is the difference between the SAFe and agile framework? So SAFe is a scale framework. Okay, if you have a large organization, if you have a large product and a large number of teams, you need to have some larger framework where your teams do Scrum, but is a kind of a framework that has an organizational stand. Okay, you have like a release train, meaning everybody will release on the same day. There are different roles, and there is a coordination for big enterprises with different teams working on the same product. Did I answer your question, Tasha? Welcome. Any other questions, or shall I move to the next person in my screen? So the next person in my screen is Shidi. Shidi, yeah. Do you have any questions? So I'm going throughout, or why are you attending to this call? So we can have an understanding, why are you here? So I can ask Stanley.
Yes.
Hi.
Can you hear? Hello, how you doing?
I can hear you really well. Thank you. I'm good. You?
I'm doing great. So I'm attending this call because I have a CSM Scrum Master certification, and I'm also congruently doing the taking the project management certification.
Mm-hmm.
And so my overall objective and what I'm looking to do career-wise is to really deep dive into the world of project management and into the philosophy and methodology of Scrum and Agile. And so my purpose for attending this call is to understand, fully what Agile is and how can I apply the Scrum with my project management certification as I move into hopefully a position that will be using Agile as their framework. So that's pretty much my purpose for the call, just to more or less understand how does Agile work in the context of Scrum and project management as a whole.
You said project management or product management? Sorry, I didn't understand that.
Project management.
Project management, PMI.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, two different things. Even though in the world where we live, sometimes they are completely intertwined. Project management is used often and is more, there is no one better than the other. Okay, project management skills are for if type of defined work. You know where you start, you know what you're going to build, and you have an assessment in the beginning. You can do your project plan, go through your steps of the project, and deliver in the end. When we're talking about product delivery and the complex or creative work, that is where Agile frameworks come along. Okay, Agile frameworks are based on not so on a project plan, but is plan as needed. So it's more interactive development. We do a small release and we talk with the client, we give it to the client, we go, we collect feedback, we do another one, we collect feedback, and we are going to prioritize the items that are more important to the client, kind of the MVP style. We'll try to deliver, and if you are doing project management, probably you heard already about Moscow. So Moscow is a prioritizing tool. So what we do when we are working with Agile frameworks, we will use Moscow or another prioritization tool to actually build what is more important for first and what is more risky. Get those out of the way, give as much value to the client as we can in the beginning, and then we continue to deliver. And that is the biggest difference. So one is for you really don't know exactly the end result. The other one, you would know the end result. So a project has a beginning, a middle, and an end. That's it. Fixed scope. When we work in Agile environments or defining more for product development, is product that is a product life cycle. And that product life cycle, you can actually think about, so we develop the basic of the product, and then we actually improve the product until a certain point where or the product shift or the product gets decommissioned. But there is no fixed spoke, deliver that, done. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
you did. Thank
the
you.
skills are always good skills. So
Mhm.
knowledge doesn't occupy space, so it's always good. And project management skills give you some organizational skills, understanding some of the frameworks that are already in place, and is very good if you are transactional for even if for an Agile environment and try to be an Agile leader, have a good understanding about other project managers that have been there for long and are faced with Scrum and Agile and all of that, and they really don't know what to do with it because they never were a part of it. So having both worlds give you an insight on some of other colleagues' work, wherever you land or wherever you are, and having leadership skills, coming back to the CAL, to the Certified Agile Leadership. So having this mindset and be able to actually be a leader in your space. As you have a better vision of both worlds, you can combine them and actually help people into the transition. That makes sense for you?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I saw something in the chat. Let me try to read it. So I recently take the initiative to enroll myself in a product owner course with Simpliaxis. As I embark on this journey, I find myself contemplating the ideal pathway to become a successful product owner in the future. I'd love to hear about your insights, experiences, what constitutes the ideal pathway to excel as a product manager. Okay. So we touched that before. So first of all, you really need to love product. Okay, that's one. Have that product mind, that when we talk product, your eyes just light up. Okay, you live and breathe your product. You want to make it better. You need to be, I like to call product owners or product managers like a mini CEO. They are the CEO for their product. So your success is listen to your customers, be able to lead the process. So bringing a product from zero to a success is a skill, but it's a skill that you really need to have that in you. What trainings do you need? When you take a product owner training, they give you the basics you need to operate a product. And if within Scrum Alliance, then we have the advanced product owner training. The advanced product owner training will give you, so when you learn the basics, you will start to do maybe product owner for a team or maybe product owner for a small product. As you move along on your career, your products get bigger, more important, more volume of work, and you will need more tools, You will start to need to probably create a product vision, quarterly reports, all of that things. You need to actually understand how to create a good roadmap, at the same time how to do product discovery, and you will start to need more techniques. So that is kind of the advanced product owner step. When you move forward and you start to become a seasoned product manager or product owner, what would happen is your skills need to be deep on discovering a new product. Be innovative for that. Or if you are working in a product, how to make your product more appealing for your clients. What can you do to improve your product, do discovery, understand more probably on the budgeting side, return of investment, what are the channels that bring you. So, and in the basic product owner training, you don't have any of it, right? So as you go along and you move along, you cannot, I used to say, we cannot run before we know how to crawl or how to walk. So when we start with the product, as we move along in our careers and we can handle more complex products, the need of that will grow with your needs. So that will be my take. So as you go along, there is amazing products, books, like the books from Roman Pickler, Strategizer, that start to give you more insights on how to test ideas for a product, how to do empathy maps, all of those things that you will start to need as you grow in your career. Pankaj, did I answer your question?
Yes, 100%. I got it now.
So good luck with that. And remember, I already told to Olu, if I'm not mistaken, product Olu, or I don't know if it's Olu or Tasha. No, it was Olu. So remember one thing, a product owner is a leadership role. And it's a person that needs to inspire others, motivate others. Not always a product owner or product manager has an executive position. So how you show up is really important so you can conduct and bring your product to a good place. And on the call Certified Agile Leader, this training, we don't go into product, but most of the examples are related to actually situations in the industry. I don't know if are you in IT, Pankaj?
No, I have got zero background in IT, no coding, nothing.
To be a product manager, you don't, my question was, are you targeting the IT market? You don't need to have technical skills to be a good product manager. That's number one. You probably need to understand how the product works because you are the customer representative for the team.
Yeah, I just heard someone, asking about switching from Scrum Master to project management side. And that's what I was wondering too. Like later on, at the moment, I work as an analyst, pricing analyst for a leading logistic company. And my work rounds about, preparing lots of biddings, procurements, it's more of our doing work on Excel sheet. But after spending a decade in logistic industry, I want to make switch to IT. And since I do not have any IT background or zero experience in coding, decoding, one of my friends suggested like we can go toward Scrum Master and product owner, and then maybe a little bit of business analyst, and eventually what I want to be is a project manager in any IT company, where I do not need to have necessary the coding knowledge, but somewhere where I can lead a team and guide them about this is what the requirement from client side and how you need to make the project. So this is what my question was basically when I sent this passage to you, is like, what should be the ideal pathway for me to switch my career from this to that industry?
So to start as a product manager, and you don't need to have technical skills. You do need to have good people skills and having good product management techniques. So the product owner training probably already give you that. What does a product owner or product manager does? Exactly what you said, gather the requirements and bring them to the team. The product owner brings the what and the why. Why are we building this? What are we building? The team, that is the technical people, they will tell you how we're gonna do it. Okay, so there is this part into it. Coming in from a different industry is not, sometimes you can easily probably land a junior product role or a product analyst as junior product manager. So working more as I would say a business analyst type of role, where we can start to build some background in how to work a product, because the theory and the practice is, so practice is what will make you a very good product manager. I can tell you that I've been a product manager myself for around 1.5 years, 2 years. I'm not a product lover person. I can teach product management. I can teach in a CSPO class, Certified Scrum Product Owner class, Professional Product Owner class. I'm not a product manager myself. I was for a while, and I work with teaching product managers and how to make successful products and managing their stakeholders, managing their priorities, creating roadmaps, effective roadmaps, have effective communication skills, because that is what make you, if you can run a plan, create a roadmap, inspiring your team, have a good vision for your product, that is what will make you a good product owner. But that will only come with your practice. So it's easier probably to get some product analyst, business analyst role, get the gist of how products work in IT, how to work a product owner role, and that probably after that you can continue your career and growing as a product manager. Does it make sense?
Yes, I got it now. Thank you so much for explaining.
But there is, so, and where it's really important is you as a person, is the can-do attitude, just really loving product. Otherwise, we will be bored to death in the world. Being a product manager for almost 2 years teach me one thing. First of all, I love people, and I like to grow people, teach people, coach people, because I'm also a professional coach besides being an enterprise coach. And my love for enable people to actually have good process and create good environments at work was what moved me into my current position. But that just came with who I am. Thank you. So, shall I move on? The next on my screen is Lola. Lola, why are you here? Any questions?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Perfect. I think a lot of people have kind of asked the same questions that I had, in the fact that I am actually trying to transition into a product owner, product manager role. My background is in finance, and when you talk about products and you're explaining it, I get excited. So I think that's one. I qualify for that. I get uber excited about being a product owner. So I have taken the product management certification. I took the certified Scrum product owner. I took this certified Scrum master. So I have this certification, and obviously they're always mentioning Agile and all. So I have all of this certification. My biggest thing here is transitioning, finding that job that I can get. And based on your last conversation, all you have mentioned in taking that into taking all of that in. It might be the part that I find difficult, and I don't know others have, is actually getting that role. Yes, I have the certifications and all, but it's kind of getting that one role. And I don't mind starting from the bottom of the list. I don't mind that. But all of the jobs actually that I've seen or requirement is almost you have to have some kind of either business analyst experience or some, even if it's entry level. So anyway, that's where I find my kind of roadblock. But in terms of taking for this one, I just want to keep on with my professional development and understanding Agile methodologies in leadership, because while I'm transitioning looking for this, I want to be able to make sure that I'm in the know, because a lot of companies now are moving to this type of way of running businesses. So anyway, in short, that's why I'm interested in for this class. So taking this seminar.
Yeah. So agility is all about flexibility, understanding your client, working with your client day in, day out. And when we talk from leadership, so in a leadership position, no matter if you are a product owner, a scrum master, executive, a portfolio lead, a portfolio manager, those leadership skills still very important. If I'm hiring, I prefer to hire someone that has a positive attitude, has the mindset, might not have the skills, but I can teach those skills. So if I see someone that has no experience, has previous experience in other, and often when you look to your own job, you'd say that you had a background from finance.
Correct. So my background is actually started with accounting, then into internal audit, then into business process improvement, transformation, internal audit, all of that. So I've tried to build that resume to get into like what out of this does, the transferable skills. And I've done all of that. I suppose it's just trying to get that one, get into that door is where I find.
If in your company, you actually have product managers, so one advice I give is talk with them, ask them to let you shadow them.
Yeah.
Because that will give you, even to pass an interview, that will open the door for you. You saw it, you can, so it's a little bit of a burden, but without the burden, without work, there's no reward. So so I have a very dear friend of mine. He works in the security industry, health and safety, security, all of that. And their company has an IT department, and they actually have some products they development along with the service they provide with physical humans. And what he's doing is actually shadowing someone in his organization on the IT side, because it's usually where you find more of these roles, and he's shadowing someone there, learning the skills, because you are not actually doing the role, but you will be learning a lot. How does that impact the team? You can see the struggles day in, day out, and that might give you starting to open the door to pass an interview because you already saw the job happening. Does it make sense? That is, it's sometimes easier get that experience in our companies, and when we move out, or at the same time as we look for something, we might find those transition. Lola, you are unmuted again. Say.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. The only one I have is I got laid off, and that's why, and I took some time off to kind of decide what my next step is. So that's the part I'm kind of struggling with, because now I'm trying to get back into the workforce, and that's because I don't want kind of want to do this product owner, and it's been something I love. It's been something I been wanting to do, because in my past employment I worked a lot with the product team, the product and marketing and sales team, so I love that kind of work.
So that is really good, because that probably will help you. And this is kind of a personal tip. Talking with a recruiter, help them to prep CV. They usually are very good on it. They help you with, because sometimes we don't know how much we're worth, and we don't have the confidence, because we never actually got the job. We get a little, at least for me, I can tell that, we got a little bit of the hesitance, and having the chat with some IT recruiters or some people that are recruiting for the roles, they are always available to chat. There are tons of them in LinkedIn. And some of them, they probably will volunteer to support you in how to get there, how to get your CV prepared, all of that.
Okay, that's good. That's really helpful. Thank you so much.
Ziva.
I do have a question.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Ask away. I was just moving on, because anytime is welcome to ask questions.
Absolutely. So that's my situation as well, where I have an IT background, but I'm transitioning into more of a leadership role. And I've also taken some time off in between of that transition. And so during that time, I said, well, let me, look into Scrum Master and look into pretty much the next phase and the next step in my career. But do you recommend any recruiters or any, do you think we should get with maybe
I can't do that. I don't know them. When I was looking for, because I have a day job, okay, as well. I'm not only a trainer, I live in the industry. I know the struggles, and that is one of the reasons I teach the class, because I think my experience might be useful to other people during the classes, because it's not only giving you the learning objectives, tick, 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 tick. It's actually, I live in the industry. I know the struggles, so probably that
absolutely
is bringing
it's
some
difficult.
of my experience in as well. But for transitioning, so, is going for a role more on the agility side, and if you do have a technical background, one of the things that is require, I don't know you, so I might be talking something that you are as a human. So this is the first time we talk. I don't know much about you, but there are roles like tech lead, principal software, that kind of principal software development, those types of team lead, those types of roles, they usually ask people to have knowledge in product, knowledge as a Scrum Master, knowledge of agility in a whole, and they ask for these people to have strong leadership skills, because it's what they need. They need someone that come into the company, can help to mentor, coach, and can actually develop that team spirit that is so much needed. So, and if you have that background, having all of this new knowledge shows to whatever the recruiters are that you are putting a really big effort on your career, and that is appreciated. I can tell you, I'm not looking for a job, thanks God. But what I can say to you is, in my career, when I changed completely my career, let me count back. 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I changed my career.
Wow.
And I had exactly the same problems. And what I did was I started as a tester. So Followus is in UK. I moved from Portugal to London. I lived in London for 11 years. I moved 2 years ago here. So when I moved to London, I actually changed my career. New country, new life, new career, all new. So I'm not crazy enough. What was my take was I got a very junior job. And in the organization where I got my job, I tried to understand the process, new country, different culture, try to understand the processes, get my feet wet everywhere I could, so I could understand what was the flow, how an IT department works, understanding what would be my role. So I was a software developer, and I came and I took a junior tester role, and was from there the development. But I think as I grow as a human, as a leader, that brought me to more leadership positions, because as your determination on doing better, caring for your people, caring for your product, caring for your teams, that will actually bring into a different instance. I think Stanley dropped, didn't he? I think he dropped from the call. He might join back. So let me see. I was about to ask, there is 2 people that didn't talk yet. So there was Ziva and Christine. Ziva, any questions? Why are you here?
Hi everyone, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, my name is Ziva. Basically, I have been a Scrum Master for over 6 years, and being a Scrum Master early this year, I decided that I want to step up my level, the leadership. One thing about me is I love learning. I believe that knowledge is power. That's one thing that I believe in. So, I'm sorry.
I said, my people. What? Knowledge is power. It is.
So, and I want to be better than I was yesterday. So me being better is basically, I do want to, be a product owner. And I did take the certificate and I did good and I got it. And also I'm trying to get my PMP next month, basically. Again, I just love learning things, because I feel like when you learn something from this, you can apply it to other things too, not just in Scrum or Agile, in life in general. That's my belief again too. So I'm just here because, listen, so this is how I got here. I literally spoke to this nice guy. His name is Byron. He was one of the customer guys that actually help a lot, and he's amazing. He spoke to me, and after I finished talking, I was like, he was listing all the things I bought. And I was like, I did buy that? Are you, like, he was just telling me, and he was like, yes, you get a link, you join, I was like, okay. So the next link was this. So today was 6:30. So I just clicked on it, and again, I'm just here because I'm paying attention and I want to hear everything everybody has to offer. And one last thing, there is somebody that made a comment about something about a job. And one advice I want to give, okay? It's not in my place to give an advice, but I just want to say something.
Please do.
If you don't have any experience, this is something I learned, okay? If you don't have any experience in a particular you're trying to get any kind of job, whether it's a scrum master, a project manager, or is a product owner, I always say there's millions or thousands of websites you can look up projects. You can actually volunteer to do those projects. And when you volunteer to get those projects done, you start getting experience. And those experience, when you're doing an interview, literally, when they ask you a question based on those project of things you've done, you are experienced with that. You can answer with confidence. That is the personal experience I got. So before I started this, I was volunteering. And when I got an interview, I was answering like I know the answer. It's because I did volunteer to do things. And that volunteering made me understand that when I was being questioned, I know my stuff. Like, you're not just guessing out of what you read or what you heard. You're guessing out of your own experience of what you did. And it will make a recruiter even believe you more, like you know what you're doing, That's
and there is really a part of it. I worked for a couple of charities in UK as a volunteer, running some teams for them. I didn't get paid, but I did learn a lot.
Hey, Silva, this is Lola. Hey, thanks for that advice. Maybe if you can drop in the in the chat some of the sites that you might have used or you could recommend. Totally appreciate it.
No problem. I'll drop 2 sites that I'm really familiar with that have millions or thousands of projects that you can actually.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think this is a good idea, actually. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I didn't even remember that, but that is a good one. I did that a long time ago. Now I'm also a professional coach, and I do a lot of team coaching. I don't do much one-to-one coaching. And when I do one-to-one coaching is always or for the church or people that cannot afford coaching and need it. And this is where usually charities and stuff, I use them to keep my one-to-one coaching skills sharp. But it's a very good option. Thank you, Ziva. So there is only one person. We didn't hear a peep until now. Christine, if you want.
Hello, everyone. Hi, I have been listening to everyone's comments offered. I also am here to just kind of keep myself well immersed in Agile conversation and general trends and ideas, kind of just collaborating with folks that are doing it, thinking about doing it, or have done it before. So that's what I'm doing here.
Yeah, and bringing back our conversation to Cal, why to take a Cal training? So Cal training is framework agnostic. So we won't teach you Scrum or Kanban or less or SAFe. But there is one thing that these trainings bring is the understanding of how an organization works, how to make a team very effective. Okay, is something that for a Scrum Master, and being an effective leader is something that the teams look for. So if they are hiring someone, they will look for someone with leadership skills, someone with a can-do attitude, someone that can influence, someone that knows their way, have a good mindset, and can understand where can they motivate the teams. One of the biggest problems in our industry is teams are beaten up by people that use more command and control than actually foster collaboration in the teams. The training itself is equip a leader, being a Scrum Master, a product owner, an executive, is equipping the person to understand even how to analyze an organization and be able to say, okay, the organization, what is missing is we talk about metrics. We talk about how can metrics help your organization to succeed. We talk about all of the, I won't say no, not the process itself, because the process you have CSM, CSPO, Scrum Master, Product Owner, PMI, all of those give you the process. But there's more to it. There is the mindset, there is the way you act, the way you can influence people, the way you can organize a team, the way you can organize a department. And that for me is essential, because if I am in the position of hiring someone, I want someone that has those skills, because those type of skills, if the person has the attitude, has empathy, understands systemic thinking, for me is like boom. Okay, and that is something that the call itself brings. Okay, the call for me is about growing the person beyond the process skills, is what you need to become a more rounded professional. You always, I will do a comparison. You might, I don't know if you catch it up. So you have a doctor. It might be a really good doctor, but if he doesn't have bedside manners, he's more likely, and this is on the studies, is more likely to get a lawsuit because he doesn't have bedside manners. If you have someone that actually has empathy, connects with you, understands you, and that is having these leadership skills, that would make the person a rounded professional. Coming along with that, understanding how the organizations work systemically is the whole package. And that is where, so in CSM, they teach you Scrum. That's it, how to run a daily Scrum. I teach a CSM myself, so I know how to do it. It's like, teach you how to do a daily Scrum, how to do a retrospective, how to help your product owner. But they don't teach you the leadership skills. And that is at most important. How to organization. They don't teach you systemic thinking, right? As those type of skills that you will get in a call. You will learn about some skills like when you are a leader, there are times you need to stay on the front, right? Setting the direction. There are times when you need to step back and let your team flourish. When to change that hat. When am I mentoring my team? When I'm coaching my team? When I'm coaching my organization? When should I intervene or not? So these are the skills that the call brings. So I usually don't do stuff that I don't believe in, because being a coach, I believe that humans have the sixth sense. So if you are doing something that you don't believe in, you sound fake. People won't trust you, and you probably have that from your own experience. So, and what I truly believe is that this training brings to the organization a different dimension, because if you can lead people, you can actually be successful. You might not be a mathematical magician or a magician as a manager. Manager, when I say manager, not people manager, but as a department manager. But those skills you can have in your team, but get your team around you, focus in one goal, that requires a good leader. Okay, and this is where the call comes along with all the other Scrum Alliance trainings or other companies training, because this is where it comes together as a person. So you might have the skills, but then you actually you have the process, the hard skills of the process, but then you will need to grow yourself on that role. So, any more questions? Anything that I can help you with? So we don't have any more questions. I will thank you all for coming. I think that, let me just, I was just opening here. So if you don't have any more questions that you want to ask, or about Cal, or about work in general, because life is all about sharing experiences, is about networking, is about knowing. And there is another thing for the ones who are looking for a job. So probably in your city, in your location, there will be Agile meetups, Scrum Alliance meetups, webinars like this. So if you are looking for a job, probably you're growing your network on these meetups, Scrum Alliance meetups, Agile Alliance meetups, will probably increase your ability to get a job, because we don't hire what we don't know. That people, they are in the industry. Usually these communities of practice, they are talking about lively problems they have. And the Agile community is one of the most helpful communities that are out there. So being online or being in person in your location, you can go to the Scrum Alliance website. You can actually ask Simpliaxis. I believe we run this in a circle every now and then. And growing your network in person or in this type of webinars, meetups, that is actually something that you saw. Just on this conversation, we got people that suggest other things. It's just not only me here talking, even though I'm the trainer, I'm here to answer the questions, but there's that richness of the people that get together that brings actually the benefit for everybody. So if you are, I will type here, like the site where usually is meetup.com. So going on the meetup, you can find Agile meetups in your area. If you go Scrum Alliance under the community, I think it's resources community, you will find some in person, some virtual, but yeah. And yes, Varen and Karten, they are really nice guys from Simpliaxis. I love to work with them as well. Someone was mentioned that before, I think it was Ziva. And yes, they are really nice guys. They keep very quiet when they are here, but I know they are listening. They are very nice people. So I really enjoy working with Simpliaxis. They make my life as a trainer really good, because the classes, usually I get a diverse group. So I get people from Canada, I get people from US, I get people from UK. Often I get people from Europe. So different locations, different people, an amazing network. We hear a lot of, and my trainings are not only by, so we have the learning objectives, but the debriefs are, we use your experiences, my experiences, and the learnings we can have from each other. And having these diverse groups that Simpliaxis put together is really a joy for me. Okay, so I'm a really happy trainer. So I will conclude this webinar. If everybody is okay with it, if someone has any questions, please do say so. Otherwise, I will wish you a very good evening, I believe, for most of us now. And if you want to connect on LinkedIn, please feel free to do so. And I'm sure that Varen, Karten, and the colleagues will be most helpful to assist you to book any trainings you wish with Simpliaxis. Okay? Thank you, guys, and have a good evening.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
Have a good
much,
evening.
Raquel.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a good evening yourself.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
all. This was good.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank
Thanks, bye-bye.
you.